Hello, and here we are again. Now, last time I think we had to go with House Baratheon. So, this time, let's have a go with House Stark. But let's make it a bit interesting. So make sure that we are Starks. Leave everyone else to the full 6-player game. We're going to put on these this time, the Tides of Battle card. Now essentially, when we have an encounter, either at sea or on land, what happens now is, both sides will draw a card from a random deck. It will either give you a +0, 1 or 2, might even be a 3 in there as well, double jack, and also some additional symbols, the swords and the castles. So you could end up killing or defending in a battle, even when you wouldn't normally do so. So battles are now no longer necessarily a foregone mathematical conclusion. Let's have a go. So we have this normal setup for the game. So from the start point of view, you do have an awful lot of territory in terms of actual percentage of the board. But essentially, it's the frozen north. There's not a great deal up here. So you're actually one of the lowest on the supply. In fact, we are the lowest on the supply. 1 supply, so we can have 1 army of 2 units, and 1 army of 3. Everyone else starts further up than us. Also, looking on the big map, our 2 main questions for Stark are, who do you fight first? Martells and Tyrells are far too far down south. Hopefully we might not even see them. But we are within striking distance of our old friends Baratheon, quite nearby to the piratical Vikings of Greyjoy. So, what do we do for our first turn? Now then, this area here I think is often overlooked at the Narrow Sea. From the Narrow Sea you can defend and support everything down even as far as Crackclaw Point, which is down in sort of the middle, the main area of Westeros. It also accesses and unlocks all these areas, the Fingers, the Mount of the Moon, the Eyrie, all those areas of the middle of the Riverlands. So we're actually going to order that ship to move into the Narrow, hopefully move into the Narrow Sea and take that. What we don't want is a Baratheon fleet to start sneaking up there and then us having to go and push them out of the way. Hopefully Baratheon will move into Blackwater Bay and head towards King's Landing, Crackclaw Point, Kingswood, that sort of areas. So, that's that one done. Right. Chap at White Harbour. We can actually move him. All let's do is give him a march move. Probably move him down as far as Moat Cailin to take that. Whilst we could leave it for the moment, I'd really rather not have the Greyjoys sneak across and grab that. I'm not really interested in Seaguard just yet, though it is a larger stronghold. So you see it provides a mustering value of 2, which is always handy. But Moat Cailin will do for now. But what I'm going to do is here, because we start the game fairly high up on the King's Court influence track, so we can use 3 of the start special orders, we're going to use the Consolidate Power special order here, which means that we can muster. What we're going to try and do is actually build up our fleets both sides of Winterfell. Winterfell's area, as you see, borders on the Bay of Ice here, and also the Shivering Sea here, which of course can be used to support anything in the Narrow Sea, and Can't be attacked from anywhere. A good backup, that is. So, let's go with that and see what everybody else does. Right. So, the raiding phase. Raids are resolved and then moves. Who's going first? Baratheon, then Lannister, then us. And the Lannisters have spread out. So what's happened there? The Lannisters have spread out. They've taken Riverrun in the middle. They've moved down to Sea Road marches to increase their supply. It's sensible. And the Baratheons have actually snaffled their footmen across to the Reach to grab an extra castle there. Their fleet is showing intention to move. Now, I would hope that they're planning to move one ship into Blackwater Bay, from where fleets can build up and can support Cracklaw Point, King's Landing, the Kingswood, and can support Shipbreaker Bay from behind as well, and not be attacked. Looks like they're probably planning to muster at Dragonstone as well. So, our first move will probably be to move that ship quickly to the Narrow Sea. The other factions were sort of moving around as well. Now, if Greyjoy's got any sense, he'll try and take the Golden Sound quickly, because he doesn't want Lannisters raiding Iron Man's Bay all game. Else he'll never get any support in that area. You saw the Tides of Battle cards flash up there as well. House Tyrell got a really big boost to that, but no extra symbols. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, Baratheons take Blackwater Bay, so they might be working on moving towards taking King's Landing or Cracklaw Point. Now, let's move this chap down to Moat Cailin, take that, and we will spend one of our power tokens to keep control of White Harbour, because it's a castle. Now, of course, we could have just put march orders everywhere and split our forces in Winterfell up and extended our supply a bit. We'll take the risk this time, because I'd like to actually get our forces boosted and then start moving about. Okay, big win for the Lannisters there. They've taken Riverrun from... or they defended... they've defended Riverrun from the Greyjoys. In that area, the Greyjoys' power really relies on a big fleet in Iron Man's Bay. Right, so we're going to muster rather than consolidate power here. What I'm going to do is put a ship, because I've got 2 points, so I can do 2 ships. So I'm going to put one ship in the Bay of Ice, and another ship. Now, if I put them in the Shivering Sea, that's handy. I can spread things around here, but I could also put a ship in this port here, which means I can always give it a consolidate power token to farm some power. If I put it in the Shivering Sea, it can support this fleet here, which is also a good idea. I don't want the Baratheons to start moving up. I've got a ship there and a ship there, so they could just do a double move. Basically move that ship out to here and then use that to attack us and push us out the Narrow Sea, which is what we don't want. So let's put our ship in the Shivering Sea. Some people are making some various pacts and agreements, and we've been asked. Adjust supply track. It's fine, nothing happens there, nothing happens there. And there's not going to be any additional march moves this turn. Fine by me. Right, now what is this message we've had here in the chat? Tyrell has requested form an alliance. Well, I'm fine with that, because they're a very long way from us. And it does mean that they can probably keep... At the moment, they're keeping Baratheon busy, which is quite handy. If Baratheon's more worried about Tyrell here, he's not going to watch what I'm doing up here, which is handy. Now, I say our main choice is: do we push more against the Baratheons down this side, or try and push the Greyjoys out of here? Because there's a lot of castles here as well for their taking. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to try and ally with House Greyjoy. Oh, they reject it. Nasty. Okay, in that case, I will try ally with House Baratheon. They reject it as well. Oh, that was very friendly up north then. Not a problem, let us carry on. So, this fleet here, support, so he's going to bolster this ship here. What else do we need? Now, if we're really cheeky, we could move this ship down to the Sunset Sea and just basically bottle everybody up here and let the Greyjoys and the Lannisters fight it out. That might, long term, be a wise move. Disadvantage is we can't move things around this way quite as quickly, but we'll get around that later. We can always muster here again, which we may do. And really I need to spread my influence a bit this turn, so what I might do is a march move. I might tell him to consolidate power. The risk is that one of these two will raid and take it off us. This guy here, I'm going to tell him to defend. So he's going to get one ship plus one defend, so 1, 2, actually let's put him on a super defend, shall we? We can always super defend, we could even bolster him by putting super support, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so he's sitting there with a strength of 5 essentially. They can only attack us with a strength of 4, they can't support, because he obviously can't support an attack in that area. That's good for us. My plan for the next castle to take, I can either go for Flint's Finger here. Alright, so far so good. But actually this one's a better one, the Eyrie. Now it's an unmanned castle, or it's a neutral force. So I need a flat 6 to take it, and no cards involved. Very good. But it does give 1 consolidate power additional token and 1 supply. But its real genius is that as it's supported from the sea, there's no way of taking the Eyrie unless someone goes in through Cracklaw Point, the Mountains of the Moon, and then attacks it. If I hold this sea area. So, what I need to do is maybe build that fleet up, or do a support from there, and then a march move. To be fair, I could take it this turn, maybe. 2, 3, 4... No, I need a bit more support than that. I need something. I need 2 ships there. Maths is hard. Right, let's stick with that for the moment. There's a lot of consolidating of power going on there, and luckily the Greyjoys nearby are not in a raiding mood, so I think I might keep that. They were, so if I'd have decided to support an attack there, the Baratheons could have removed my support token, which would have meant the whole attack on the Eyrie would have gone badly wrong straight away. Now then, let's cheekily grab the Sunset Sea straight away. Then next turn, my plan will be to muster at Winterfell again and shove another ship in the bay behind it, and then it will support the one that's further out. Basically, I'm spreading my naval influence down here, and if you look, if I put another ship in this bay here, the Bay of Ice, I'll have basically half the map's worth of water is under my control, which means I can move around a bit easier and also strike anywhere I need to. Now then, I need food and influence. So I could move someone to Castle Black. That's nicely out of the way. He can just farm extra influence there. Now I could move my knight. Stony Shore, it's fairly safe from attack. Widow's Watch, similar. However, without a force actually in Winterfell, I won't be able to muster till a turn after next, which is a bit awkward. Unless a mustering card comes out, and that would have to be pretty lucky to have that happen. at the moment, I don't really need the extra supply. I haven't even got the forces to fill the supply I've got. So let's just do as we've done and leave it like that. Oof. It's a big mustering in there. They've got a big, building a big fleet in Shipbreaker Bay. I don't like that. But a mustering, that's handy. He's going to be well up to his supply limit there, I should think. So that's going to stop him going too crazy. And hopefully he will annoy. Now then. White Harbour. I can do a ship. And I can muster it into the Narrow Sea. Fleet of 2. Moat Cailin, I can muster a ship. And put it into the Narrow Sea. That's my big army done, but that's helpful. Just shows I'm not afraid. 2 points we can muster here. Let's do a ship in the Bay of Ice as support, and let's do a footman here so we can move around and start taking some more territory. That was a very handy mustering, that, and the wildling attack is going to be burning up our influence. Our command, our power tokens, as is a Clash of Kings, we're going to be bidding. So bid on the influence tracks. I am not really bothered which position I move at the moment. Being so far in the north, I'm happy to let other people move on me first. So I'm going to save my power and just let that fall where it will. Oh, we go last. Well, it means we get to see what everyone else does. Fiefdoms is handy being higher than other people, but again, I like to be able to put more orders down, especially the mustering order. So I'm going to let that fall wherever. Alright, everyone's higher than me. Not a problem. And Greyjoy's got the extra +1 with the Valerian Steelblade if they need it. Now, this is one we're going to throw in at least 2 and save 3 to throw in against the wildlings. Oh, and there we go. I actually end up on the top. That's good. Now I can replace an order every turn, or I can have a look what's coming next on the wildling deck. Now I think I might throw in 2 against the wildlings. Now we defeat the wildling attack quite easily. I'm not the highest bidder though, so I don't get to move to the top of a track of my choice. That'll be the Lannisters. Oh, he goes to the top. Drat. What's this? Lannister warms about Stark. I see. Greyjoy has requested your support at Flint's Finger this round. I will support Flint's Finger. He's already taken it though. Fair enough. So what we're going to do first is they're going to go into support. And I think he is going to support. So he's going to support here. And these guys here should really go into support as well. So as long as they don't get raided, they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So all I need to do is move a knight. I can take the Eyrie with 1 knight. Nice. He's going to probably try for a bit of consolidate power. The guys at the wall, they're going to consolidate power as well, because that's handy. I could muster a Moat Cailin actually, that would be... Oh no, I couldn't. I can't get any, can't get any more armies in there. These guys, we're going to raid actually. Always try and damage the Lannisters if we have to, but that'll do. Let's see where we're up to. Let's see what everybody else does. Alright, raid orders first. Aha. Support is what the Baratheon fleet in Shipbreaker Bay is doing, and supporting there. So they're probably, with a march, they're going to go for King's Landing this turn. That's fine. The Eyrie is better for me. What I am going to do, though, I might... No, I've got a choice here. Can I raid there and nick theirs? Don't know if I can. No, I can't. Okay. Let us raid. If I raid the Lannisters. Seems better, doesn't it? If I raid the support in Shipbreaker Bay, that could really leave Greyjoy open to attack. What have they got moving? Yeah, the Lannister army has been told to march. They've been told to march as well. And they've been told to march. So he could be planning to move them. Maybe to attack Riverrun with support from his fleet here. Now, this guy, defending, has got the support from the Golden Sounds. I'm going to remove that by pinching that off with a raid. And friend Greyjoy should see how useful I am to him. Well, Baratheon moves in and takes King's Landing. There's no additional cards on that. No Tides of Battle cards and no house cards. It is a straightforward numbers game against like the neutral defenders. So, yeah, House Baratheon's taken King's Landing. That puts them at 3 castles. Everyone's got 3 castles. Everyone's equal. Right. Now we can't go 2 ways here, can we? We could probably do with a bit more supply. We'll get it from the Eyrie, but we'll double it up. So what we'll do is we'll send... So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you see, if I'd have done a plus march, I could have done it with a footman. Let's just walk in. Never mind, we'll send a knight to the Eyrie, and that should be a straightforward take. Now I could take the Stony Shore next to me, but then the guy needs to move. If I take the Mountains of the Moon, that just prevents anyone thinking about pinching in from here, or I could even move on the Twins as well, but let's go to the Mountains of the Moon. The Stony Shore we don't really need till later in this game. It's tempting early on to spread out this way, but if you push down into this sort of region here, there's a lot here. You've got the Twins, which obviously, with the bridge over the Twins, House Frey controlling, that's why you get the extra power tokens there that you can farm. Obviously the Fingers and the Mountains of the Moon, just some more supply areas. Now that should be 2 plus 4, 6. Fantastic. We'll take the Eyrie in one go. Let's just walk in. I do hope they add on some extra stuff to this, because there's the new expansion for the actual board games that brings in House Arryn as a playable faction. You get like a little card overlay that goes over and changes it into 2 more. You got the Eyrie and one other area in there, so you can play them as a faction. Oh, that's good. House Martell's giving some trouble there. I wonder if I can offer House Martell an alliance. Oh, they don't like me. Fair enough. Okay, some mustering there. What do we get for the cards? Mustering again. Oh, that's good. And another Clash of Kings. I could do with the supply being adjusted now, because mustering is not going to help me a great deal. I can only have one area with 2 units in, or one area with 3 units in. I've already got that. I've got a big fleet in the Narrow Sea. Hello. People are building siege towers now, it's getting serious. Of course the siege tower is worth 4 in attack, but 0 in defence. So it's no good holding areas with it, but it's very good for attacking a castle or stronghold. Useless for attacking any armies that are in non-castle areas, but even so. Right, so the Eyrie, what can we do there? We can get ourselves a footman for the Eyrie. Nice. Okay then. We can upgrade to a knight, let's do that. White Harbour, let's have a footman. We've got loads of footmen here. Winterfell, ooh, we have a footman. Ooh. If I have 2 footmen, I can't have 2 footmen. If I have 1 footman, I can just, let's just have a footman. He says, let's have a footman. Don't want to upgrade it to a knight or anything. Well, a knight will be handy because he can still stand there. Why not? Right, am I bothered what turn I move? Not really at the moment. Let everyone else fight that out. So far we had no battle. Turn 4 and I've not... the Starks have not actually waged war with anybody. It's been manoeuvring. Fiefdoms... There's a wildling attack coming, so no, I'm not going to burn any power for that. We still end up 3, so that's pretty good. So in any fights against Lannister, Baratheon or Tyrell, if we draw, we win because we're higher up on the Fiefdoms track. Thank you, House Greyjoy, because they break ties, they push us further up. Now, I do still need some of this. I'm going to tuck in... Actually, the wildlings attack, but they've got no strength at the moment, so I can tuck in 4 and end up nicely high. That's fine. I can still use a maximum of 3 starred orders, special orders. Wildlings attack with 0 strength. I'm not putting anything in. We win. Wasting it. Mind you, no one's got much power here. Oh, they attack again with 6. Ooh, crikey, I have to put something in. Damn. Oh, no. Who was the lowest bidder? Everyone else. Everyone else destroys 2 of their units anywhere. Oh, I could probably dump a boat, maybe. Yeah, people are getting rid of ships they don't need. Oh. Golden sounds a bit vulnerable. Greywater Watch. Well, I see. Yeah, he can always move something out from Pike to support that. He's got loads of ships. Baratheon can burn a fleet. He's not bothered. Now, what am I going to get rid of? 2 items. I don't want to get rid of the Shivering Sea because that connects to everything. I can probably risk that. What else? Just get rid of 1 footman here. Yeah, I don't really need 1 footman. There they are. Still holding the Eyrie. We've got no power tokens to move out of castles and hold them with, so we do need to keep things in castles at the moment. But this will be a turn where we'll probably consolidate some power if we can. Good thing with the Eyrie is it's got a little token, so we can consolidate power. We can muster there as well if we want, because we've lost a few bits and bobs here, so we can muster some stuff. Might be an idea. Though, saying that, we could do that at Winterfell as well. And with the connections of the sea, we can still move everything around. Let's consolidate power in places where we are best consolidating it. So that'll be 4 power tokens for starters, that's good. We could do that there as well. Grab 6, why not? They could support, I don't want him, well see he can only attack there. But Cracklaw Point could attack the Mountains of the Moon, but Mountains of the Moon is supported by the Narrow Sea, so I shall support, and just in case they get raided, they're going to support from behind. He's going to super support, and yet again, my guys here are going to raid, I think. I mean, to be honest, we could sneak in there. That'd be nasty. Who's asking for help? Tyrell warns about Stark. And Tyrell, that's naughty. You had we had an alliance, and now you're warning about me. Nasty. Warn back. I'm only equal to Baratheon, only 1 ahead of everybody else. So I'm hardly a threat. But let's raid. He is going to probably just defend. If we move, we can't hold on to the position, so we might as well just stay where we are for the moment. He's going to defend as well. But quite a lot. I'm not liking this thing here. That could be the stab in the back any day. And obviously he's supported quite nicely. He doesn't need to do anything because, again, he can't move without losing a castle. I mean, he could go to Widow's Watch and back, but there's no point. Stay where you are. And that's everything. Let's see what everybody else does. Need to take more castles, because obviously you can, it's at the end of round 10. Whoever's got the most castles, or if anyone at any point gains 7 castles. So I need another 3. I'm in the lead jointly with Baratheon at the moment. So I need another 3. Now, one strategy could be to push down here, but Crackclaw Point can be supported from Blackwater Bay and Shipbreaker Bay. So this one knight with strength 2 has actually got 3, 4, 5 supporting him. However, to attack him, I'd have to attack 1, 2, maybe move 3, 4, or a siege tower or something to take it, which would be the traditional way you do it. But if you move in there with a siege tower, you'd need a knight to go with it to hold it in defence, backed up by your supports here. Ideally, you'd then want to maybe risk moving and taking Shipbreaker Bay from the Baratheons, which nicely cuts off Dragonstone, which basically means he has to leave a unit there just farming power and can't move it out. If you're being really nasty, you can take Dragonstone off them, and then that'll be one to then maybe go for King's Landing, but of course Blackwater Bay supports it. Or, of course, once you've got Crackclaw Point, you can then push up through the Riverlands. Harrenhal and River Run are not too far away, but they're tricky to support. You can't support across this river, and obviously your ships can only support Crackclaw Point. So you'd have to maybe attack in from Moat Cailin to take Seaguard, Flintfinger. There's still some options here, isn't there? I mean, another 3, I could take Crackclaw Point, Seaguard with a malicious stab in the back, and Flint's Finger, and just basically hold the whole of the north, and that's me winning. But for the moment, we just need to consolidate our position and see what everybody else does, and always be in a position to move. See, well, now we've got our fleets basically nailing up the sea all the way around here, and the fact that Winterfell is so deep in our own territory. With these sea connections, I can move from Winterfell anywhere on the map that I'm touching. I can move down here as far as the Sea Road marches. I can move straight into Flint's Finger, and they can't hit back. I can muster things in the Eyrie and attack through there, or even go from Winterfell directly down to Crackclaw Point should I wish. So I think my strategy should be to muster some siege towers. Towers, check me. Or knight and a siege tower here, and then use that to strike and hold the ones that I want, and try and hold them and keep them. So, in the meantime, raiding order, beg your pardon. Now, River Run, the Lannisters are definitely wanting to hold on to that. Now, they're planning to move from Harrenhal, maybe. Again, supporting Ironman's Bay, and they've got a march order here. I would suspect, looking at it, the Greyjoys are going to attack River Run. So again, we can help them by getting rid of that there. Don't really want to annoy the Tyrells too much down at the West Somersea. So we'll leave them as they are for the moment. Oh, doesn't march. Of course, if putting a march order down doesn't mean that you actually intend to march. You can literally just say, nope, I'll just use that order and not move. So it can act, certainly in the not only in the digital game against real people, but also in the analog board game, can act as quite a bluff. When there's a march move in a critical location, it's up to the negotiations across the table as to whether you do actually move or not, or where you end up moving. Oof. So Lannisters lose a footman. Oh, but they only had knights there, so that's handy. Ah, Harrenhal's not marching as well. Everyone's kind of frozen up a bit. The Martells are a little bit aggressive. Let's see. Oh, that's good for the Greyjoys. They're just boosting their fleet. in the bay here. I'm just going to... Oh, good. Martells and Tyrells, yeah, you two beat each other up down in the south. That's fine by me. Okay. Martells win, but 2 swords versus 2 castles. Tyrell's defeated but not destroyed. So they'll just move back. Oh, one did die. I wonder why that was. Maybe it's already routed. Little bit of extra. Right, what do I want to do now? I can muster if I want. Shall I muster here? I think some extra power is probably required. Yeah, we're only turn 4 into the game. We've got some time left. So let's click that and let's muster. We can do muster 2 things, can't we? So we could muster a siege engine, or we could have another ship. It should give us more. Actually, another ship here would give us some free opportunities for some more consolidation of power. So let's do that. Let's have another footman. If there's a mustering, we can always boost him up. I could do with a supply. Yeah, thank you. That's what we need. Now, what are we going to do? Bid on the influence tracks or collect some power? Ah, who chooses that? Right, well, there's a wilding attack coming with a value of 2. But as I don't know what it is, I don't really fancy my chances. So let's just leave that like that. Very good. Nothing changes. We're still 4th. Oh no, we've gone up to 4. Oh no, not. We've moved down to 6. Not too bothered. Well, already bottom of the fiefdoms track. I'm not too bothered about where we are with that. Yeah. Lannisters go a bit. But this is on King's Court. I would like to keep the option of some starred orders. Dropping off the King's Court track can be really tricky. Let's chuck in 2. Oh, and we end up on the very top, in fact. That's okay. Which is handy, because now we can also check the wildling deck. I'm probably going to shove in 2 against this. Oh no, let's shove in 1. As long as someone else puts in 1, we win. Oh, good heavens. 2 available power. Right, everyone just loses power. That's, right. Next turn. Turn 5, so halfway through the game. Now then, we do need to consolidate some power. Now this fleet here, I'm going to put on support again to bolster these chaps here. I can't move anything again because it will mean losing our supply chain. That's not too big a problem. I think that's going to consolidate power. Actually, no. Let's maximise what we need. That's handy if I need to move out the area. Castle Black can consolidate power because the extra token there means that's 2 power tokens we get. The Knight in the Eyrie will also consolidate power. And in Winterfell, we will consolidate power as well. So it should be 6 power tokens we've got. He's going to defend. He's going to defend Moat Cailin. It's not anything to do with White Harbour really, so he's going to... I'll put a march move in, but he doesn't really need to do anything. He's going to support. He's going to raid again, because that's quite fun. And the Shivering Sea ship is going to support the Narrow Sea. He can't do anything, so I'm just going to tell him to raid. Okay, I could put in an extra defence here, couldn't I? I could really bolster him up, but he's already been supported here. And so is he. They could put in a super support, but then again, if they're raiding and they remove it, it goes. And we could be attacked. So, just in case that's a weak point, let's tell him to super defend. Super defend! Now, because I'm first on the King's Court track, once all the orders are revealed, I can change one if I want. So I could change a support that's going to get lost into a raid if I wanted. But we do get to look at the moves, or the orders that are down first. So, support, okay. Now I see I could turn them into a raid and get rid of that support. Handy. They're staying where they are, that's okay. They're consolidating power. Kind of expected because everyone's burnt all their power out, so if there's a wildling raid, we're all in the stock. And they're doing the same there. Defending. They're threatening a march there, but they haven't moved recently. They're still trying to support, but they've got a bigger fleet there now. 1, 2, 3's worth of power. They're threatening to move as well. I think we're okay with what we've got. No one's going to pinch any of my... You can raid a consolidate power. Basically, you pinch that power token. But no one's raiding next to one of ours, which is handy. We'll leave it as it is. So let's have a... Instead of replacing, let's have a look at the next wildling card. The Horde descends. Now what happens here is that if the wildlings win... Whoever bids lowest destroys 2 of his units. And everyone else has to lose a unit. And if we win, you can muster. That's not too bad. So I'm going to put that one on the top of the deck, so I know that that one is coming. At the moment, considering that their... it reminds me as well. Considering that their wildling strength is 0, they're not building up at the moment. Now, where should we go from here? Shall we get rid of that last... I'm going to let the Tyrells support. Multiple supports there. West Summersea supports quite nicely into the Sea Road marches as well as Highgarden, and the Redwine Straits also support Highgarden. So Highgarden is quite a defensible location, even though it looks quite vulnerable. Its advantage is it's 2 on the supply track straight away. To get any influence and power tokens, really, Tyrell has to spread out quite a bit. I need to actually play out one of the scenarios as Tyrell, which is very difficult, and I've been working on it since I got the game, where you've got to build up an army of 15 units within 8 turns. I haven't managed it yet. Let's annoy the Lannisters. They've got the money for it. And let's just use that up, because... we're basically... Oh! Have I just burnt my own token there? I hope not. Oh, I did. I raided myself. That's ridiculous. How should I be able to do that? He should be supporting that guy there. Essentially, I'm holding the whole of the west coast of Westeros with 2 ships. Which is good, because you don't want the Lannisters popping out into the Sunset Sea, because that unfortunately bottles up the Greyjoys, and then they can just raid. They can raid from Ironman's Bay from 2 areas there, and the Greyjoys have basically had it. You don't really want the Greyjoys out here because they could threaten into Flint's Finger, and it only takes them to push into here, and suddenly they can send things from Pike right the way around to Winterfell, and you've had it. So now, do we want to march? Now, we can't march anywhere without losing places, so let's resolve that by not marching. That's interesting. I've not had a check of the supply track. Martells and Tyrells down the south have really got high up on that. They can actually have 4 units in one area, 3 units in another area, and 2 units in 2 other areas. Everyone else is down on the 2 units in one place. Sorry, 2 units in 2 areas. No. Read it properly, Wilson. 2 units in 3 areas and 1 area with 3 units in it. But Baratheon has dropped right down to 1. So you can only have 2 units in one area and 3 in another. Interesting. I hadn't spotted him dropping down there. Not unfortunately, we can't consolidate any power this turn, but okay. What we can do is move out and take some more territories. Because once you put a power token down to hold a territory, it stays there until someone else walks in. So this might be an occasion to start doing some damage now. Greyjoy's requested your support at Seaguard. Well, okay. Maybe I will. He's going to get attacked there, is he? Okay, so he wants me to support. The only thing I can support him with is that, Moat Cailin. So unless he's trying to trick me into doing a support and I defend, I'm just going to defend Moat Cailin. Narrow Sea. Support. Shivering Sea. Support. Bay of Ice. You to super support. Sunset Sea, keep raiding. What else? Super defend. And the Eyrie. Normally I'd say doing that, there's nothing much to do. Let's move stuff about, shall we? I could give White Harbour the -1 march. Less powered. I'll play an aggressive march from Winterfell. Maybe the Eyrie could march as well. If I tell it to, that at least gives them something to worry about. Let's tell it to defend. Yes, we know they do nothing there. Oh, you can't do anything, I just have to raid order, so he's got something down to do. You still get to change your order or check the Wildling deck though, which is handy. Mind you, it's not been pulled out yet, so we know what the Wildling deck is. So, what's going to happen here? They're still supporting. Good. Raiding. Yes, an attack on Crackclaw Point is going to be quite costly because, although it's only 1 knight, strength of 2, so that's strength of 2, 3, 4, 5. He essentially counts strength 5. I can... 1, 2, 3, 4. So that knight compiling there is actually down already. Greyjoys are really hanging on to that. I don't really want to make an enemy of the Greyjoys too soon, because as you can see they can hang on to Flint's Finger and push into Moat Cailin. I don't really want to lose that. That's a nice handy spot, although I am well defendable there. So it might be an attack on Crackclaw Point, then Harrenhal. 5, 6, and I'm only 1 away. So, don't want to change anything. I don't think I really want to change anything. Replace an order token. I could switch that out for the more powerful one, maybe. No, I don't have any order tokens available, so they have to be in your hand to switch out, so to speak. Let's let everybody raid each other. Whereas the starred special raid order can actually remove defense orders as well, which is quite handy. So all I can do there is remove that support. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's with a value of 6 already. Nasty. I don't really want to do anything. I'm just going to unraid that one. Castle Black, not much to do out there. Only because, due to the card pulled in the Westeros face out of the third deck, just meant we couldn't use any consolidate power. Which I could really do with at the moment. I've just spread out enough to be able to start consolidating some power to really push up. Last couple of turns, I could really, if we get a bid on the influence tracks, could really push ourselves up there. It takes a lot to stay at the top of all three, but obviously there's advantages to doing so. Lannisters and Tyrells toweling each other up, very good. Lannister might be an interesting one to play as well at the middle, because you are surrounded by opponents straight away. You've got the Tyrells underneath, you've got the Greyjoys, your immediate problem. As you push out to start taking some areas, you'll butt heads with the Baratheons automatically. That's why it's an interesting game, this one. It's not entirely all even, which is good. Now, I could move my knight from the Eyrie. Oh no, I can't. I would overstretch myself there. Shall we just take Widow's Watch? Just increase ours like that, or should we move to the Mountains of the Moon? Let's move that single footman. He's probably going to be more use in the Mountains of the Moon. I can still keep him there according to my supply. Should I go to the Twins? Do you know what? Let's move him to the Twins. It could be a valuable. Go to the Twins. And sit there and possibly farm some power tokens. Oh, they're attacking Tyrell's already once this turn defeated. Routed unit, so it has 0 value. If they're defeated again, I think they're all destroyed. Oof. Queen of Thorns removes the support token next door, if she's any sense. Oh dear. Oh, crikey, everyone's dead. That's a bit brutal. Lots of reorganising there. Right. And next up for us. Now, do I move from the area? I move from here. White Harbor is control with a power token. That's fine. I don't remember it asking me if I wanted to do so. I'm fine with that though. Now, the moment I leave here, I could move all of these down to the Eyrie and then march them onwards. What I can't do is move him up to here, because that will make 4 in one area, which I don't have the supply for. So he may have to stay there for a moment. Thing is, I can move him out of the Eyrie. No one can move in there unless they go in through the Mountains of the Moon, or they defeat my fleet in the Narrow Sea, which is supported from here as well. So, once you've got the Eyrie, it really is a very nice spot to keep. Obviously, you've got the spy, you can farm command power tokens from it. But at the same time, do you want to be stuck there? Probably best to have like a footman there that you can just farm power from it later on. So I'll probably need to switch those two over. But of course that would burn up a lot of movement tokens or march orders in a turn. That's even more powerful than before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. get 2. Not much support at all, is it? I really need to take Cracklaw Point. It's not that well supported, to be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's put all his power in King's Landing, and we could threaten King's Landing quite easily from there. So, leaving the footman behind, because we may need to muster again. Let's move these 2. Now, we could move it to Cracklaw Point, or we could move him to the Eyrie and then move everyone to Cracklaw Point. So at the moment, I get 4, 5, 6 with a +1 to the march order. But if I move them there and then move from the Eyrie, actually, I can move those 2. I can move the footman to the Eyrie. No. That will still be within our supply. Sometimes you've really got to... It's a good job the game doesn't let you do anything you can't do. For the moment, let's take Cracklaw Point. And then we can move that knight in to support it later on, as no one's going to be marching in on it anytime soon. This should be enough to take that. 7, place 2. Bring in supports. Support myself, obviously. Extra 2, that's 9, plays 2. First battle, actually. 9, plays 4. Oh, and another fleet there in Blackwater Bay. 9, plays 5. Now, we can check what cards he's got. He could throw in Stannis. That would make it 9. Maximum he's going to get from the cards. 10, 11, 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. So we could push Robb Stark. See what we get for that. Or Great John, but I don't really want to... Eddard Stark's good, and you do get 2 swords to kill stuff with, but he's only got 1 unit there. So I'm tempted to just do Robb Stark. Let's see what he pulls. Patchface. Okay, he's going to probably make me discard Eddard Stark. Ooh, nasty. He got an extra sword there. But we still win. Oh, he's made me discard the Blackfish. Alright. It is a good one. He just blocks all casualties. You don't take casualties. House Greyjoy! How dare you? But watch this, I'm supported. Now we're even. No wonder he wanted support in Seaguard. Swine! Right. Pity I tapped Baratheon now. Right, let's see what Greyjoy's got in his hand. He's got all of them. Yeah, Euron Greyjoy. That's a nasty one. But, he could do anything nasty to me on this one, couldn't he? I'm tempted to lose this and I get all my hand back. We'll just do Great John Umber and try and kill him. Let's send the Great John in. Your meat is bloody tough! I don't think it's going to help. Ooh, it did a bit. Oof, I think we lose the guy there. We do have swords, but no castles to defend us. Oh, drat. Alright, we lost the twins to the treacherous Greyjoys. See now, we could retake it though. Could march him round on there. And push that in there. To be honest, I've only got a siege tower defending that, though they are well supported. I'd be more tempted to push that in there. Maybe even move back. Or move a footman back to Winterfell. We still keep the Eyrie. If I move them back to here, that means I can threaten Flint's Finger. And to be honest, I can attack... No, I can't. I could... If I move into Grey Water Watch, I can attack down that way. Or I could just attack Seaguard via there. It depends. I've got Cracklaw Point. I can either head... They're going to worry that I'm either going to head for King's Landing or Harrenhal. Harrenhal is very lightly defended. And to be honest, so is Riverrun, though it does have incredible support from here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 support from Lannisport's army. So 7, 8, 9, 10. That's strength 10, and it's just one guy sat in the castle. So that'd be siege towers galore for that one. Holding Crackclaw Point may be the key here, but then again, with them now doing super support, that might be what we need, as long as we stay where we are on the King's Court. So, if I move my knight back to Winterfell, I could just pile in here to attack him, but Greyjoy's still got a lot of his decent cards left, including Balon, which just means that whatever you put in is worth 0. Although he does have Victarion Greyjoy, but that's only if you're being supported by ships. It makes your ships powerful. And he's far too inland to be supported there. It's only my ships that are nearby. Let's shove. Let's double up Crackclaw Point. Let's let him have the twins. Useful it is. But eyes on the prize. I am in fact leading with 5 castles as we go into turn 7. Winter is coming. What do we get? Throne of Blades. When they hit 12, they attack automatically. Right, whoever's got the Iron Throne can choose. Updates supply, then reconciles armies, or everyone musters units, or has no effect. No effect, it seems. Nothing happens there, and no support orders this turn. Oh. That's nastier. They probably have to defend like the Dickens, but we could do with some more. It does give us the opportunity to farm a little. Let's defend. We really want to defend there. I don't really want to be attacking out of here just yet. So we're going to desperately defend Crackclaw Point. You're not doing much of any use there. And you could oh no, you can't support. I'll raid. Because if he starts farming power tokens there, I'll pinch him. He might also defend there. Raiding. Farming. Now then, I'm not sure if I put that there. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to muster in Winterfell. Maybe I am. I'm sure we'll find out. I'll tell him to march, though I'm not intending to. I'll tell him to march, though I'm not intending him to. I'll do that. What's this here? Everyone's warning about me. Maybe I'll just warn. Let's warn everyone about threat at King's Landing. I don't think there's one anyway, but let's throw that in there. Much options here, and you know what the top is. What's going to happen here? Oh, actually, they're planning on a powerful march. I was going to raid them. March. Consolidating power. And raiding there. Can raid there. There's a lot of consolidation of power going on. Even they're raiding. I don't think there's much worth doing here. Just replace an order token, but not replace an order token, as it were. And we could always march on him, and if we defeated him, force him back. Let's make it look like we know what we're doing. Some power changing hands a little. Not many power tokens out in the game, actually. No one's got more than 2. So, any bidding on the power tracks, on the various influence tracks, is really going to be low. Because, of course, I'm pushing out with 5 castles now. I'm basically painting an enormous target on my head. Oh, oops, Gregor again. Oof! The skull. A skull basically means that someone loses one definitely. So they're going to lose. That blocks 1. They're going to lose. Martel's going to lose at least 3. They've only got like that. Oh, or is it you lose 1? I'm not sure. I'll have to check that. Right, now then, what we're going to do... I could pile him with Eddard Stark now, but it depends if I do need him probably for something else. Catelyn Stark's really quite handy. If you have a defence order in this battle area, its value is doubled. So. A Roose Bolton means that we can return our entire house card pile to our hand, so we get everything back. So probably attack with Eddard Stark and then lose with Roose Bolton and get everything back again. Certainly an option. I'm not really moving anywhere that's useful. I don't want to move. So I can move out the Bay of Ice. No, leave that there. We've done okay with just 2 ships. We've certainly done what I need that side, because all the action's going on this side. We never really intended to do much against the Greyjoys, and now they're kind of forcing our hand in the middle. So with some support, this would be handier. Let's attack the twins, see what happens. Do you want to keep them out of the moon? Yes, we probably do, actually. Okay, all even. Let's chuck Roose Bolton in, see what happens. Victorian Greyjoy. Oh, Tides of Battle draw, but he's higher than me on the fiefdoms. So, it was close, but I get all my cards back. Robb Stark's one of the useful ones. Oh. That's aggressive from the Dornishman. Oof! Red Viper. They've pulled the man with the +3. Mandalorian. And killed 2. Oh, no, he's managed to block 1, so he loses a ship. Can he retreat 1, though? If he can't, no. So if he can't, if he's overstocked here, he has to destroy it. Okay, Martells have got the West Summer Sea. I mean, there's only 3 really big naval powers around. Us, the Baratheons, and the Martell. Man, the Martells are quite spread out. They've got 4 in the Sea of Dawn. Sea of Dawn's great to support all this area here. You can support 3 castles with 4. I mean, what? Sure, 4 ships in there, 3 ships in there with a +1 support. Everything is 4 for starters. Powerful stuff, that. But let us consider: do we want? Well, the only advantage of that is that, of course, Winterfell can get out into the sea and around this way. If you remove, as I found to my cost, if you push that down there and you don't have a ship here, you can't move out to Winterfell unless you come down to Moat Cailin first, or White Harbour. So, Shivering Sea and Narrow Sea, worth keeping that, because you've got that little connection there, and of course around here. So, let us tell them that he's not moving. same with him. Stay where you are. I knew it. Treacherous. 3 plays 3. What's he got to throw in? Only 2s, okay. Theon Greyjoy is best for defending. Ashes Greyjoy... if she's not being supported, she gets nasty. Balon just makes my card 0. This might be a good opportunity then. So I want to actually use Catelyn Stark, double my defence order, and see what they put out. Balon Greyjoy, okay. He wins and kills my... Ow! Drat! We lost Moat Cailin. All down to not having those not allowed to put any support tokens out. So we're down to 4. And Greyjoy, if that's leveled up supplying the playing field a little. More bidding. Let's stay where we are. Okay, we move up. We're going to go ahead of the Greyjoy. That's getting dangerous. I'm not really bothered about that. Let's just stay where we are on that. Greyjoy is still going to beat it. Everyone is apart from the Martells. Alright. This... the King's Court, I want those starred orders. I need to be able to march aggressively and defend well. Let's chuck in 3. Keeps us on the top. There we go. Greyjoy's right on the bottom. He can do nothing. No special orders at all. And what are they going to do? What are we going to choose? No defence orders. Well, this could be the time to be aggressive. I could do 3 marches and take 3 castles and win. But you're going to have to super support. That's dangerous. They could literally walk into Winterfell there. I don't like that. So I'm going to have to retake Moat Cailin, which I can do from Crackclaw Point. Quite convincingly. Let's keep farming that that good stuff there. I've got no one else in a castle, have I? No, I need to move them. I need to... yeah. Oh. That's fine, that's fine. Support. You can support. Oh, actually no, you're going to raid. There's not going to be any defences played. So supporting is probably best. What I could do is, you can get me some more of that as well. You want to march? I'm going to march him to there. Yeah. Hopefully, no one will notice I'm moving people out of Crackclaw Point, just to secure my rear lines here. Some supporting. Good. Right. Down. These bastard Baratheons are going to raid my support there, which will be a problem unless... Hopefully, if I warn about the threat there, they might do that. Who knows? Let's have a look. I'm going to do that support. I'm going to risk that. I can pile in there and push them out of Moat Cailin pretty well, I think. No one's in a position to walk in on me there. That's good. So I can actually basically move what I like, and maybe just move that footman into support once these have gone and dealt with the treacherous Greyjoys there. Now I know what's happening up here. Do I want to replace anything? I don't think I've got anything to replace it with, really. I don't want anything else marching. I've only got We've got armies there. Leave it as it is, always the best. Sometimes stick with your gut. I knew he'd do that. Right, so they're not supporting anymore. If I can beat the Greyjoys down a bit. That's not supported from the sea there. Maybe that will cause them to think twice. Or annoy them. The raid order is really very underestimated. It can swing. Raids played different ways can swing the balance of power in the subsequent attacks so much. Wow, he's not moved his siege tower. That's a bit weird. He's not moved either. Right. Well, let's move those two. Now I could swoop Harrenhal. I could even swoop King's Landing, to be honest. It's only got one support. I don't think he's going to support. I don't think Martell are going to support him. So again, across the table with real people, be a lot of debate going on here. Really, I could do a taking Shipbreaker Bay next turn, maybe, but that would mean I need to I'd want maybe 2 or 3. Now, do we want to take Moat Cailin back, or do we want to take King's Landing? We've got 2 more turns, so we could always go for King's Landing in the final turn, but we're down on castles. I'll push Baratheon to only owning Storm's End and Dragonstone. Greyjoy's got 4, I've got 4. Need to keep them beaten down for the moment, I think. Martell got 4 as well. So again, Martell could storm across here, grab a load of stuff. So 4. They've got the Reach. They could go for Highgarden, Storm's End, Old Town. Martell could take it with me being nowhere near close enough to deal with it. But Crackclaw Point, I can strike King's Landing and Harrenhal subsequently. And Flint's Finger, because I can just keep raiding Iron Man's Bay now to stop them being supported. Let's take Moat Cailin back. We can threaten Seaguard from here as well, and Flint's Finger. Now then, what's he got? He's only got 1 person in here, hasn't he? So Great John Umber might be just what we need. Oh, sorry, extra sword. Kill him off. Good. Right, yeah, they're pushing towards Old Town. There's not a great deal of Tyrell armies left, is there? Let's see. If the Tyrells and the Martells go back to 3 each, that would help me a little. Now, what did I say? I want to move him to Crackclaw Point to seal that up. We've kind of pushed the Greyjoys out. They've got a siege tower. They've got a knight. They've got a knight. They've got some knights. They've got a lot of knights. But that's about it. Not got many footmen floating around. I think everyone's burnt a lot of army. There are some big armies. There's like 6 worth strength there. And in King's Landing as well. But I think, again, holding Crackclaw Point is important, because if they keep raiding my narrow sea support, a raid means that's fine. If they want to raid this fleet to stop it supporting here, that's alright. I already own Cracklaw Point. Basically, that means that they're raiding, they're not supporting anything here. The thing is, King's Landing is only supportable by Blackwater Bay, not by Shipbreaker Bay. So let's do as we said and reinforce Cracklaw Point. I mean, my other option would be to move back to Winterfell. I could then maybe muster. That would be in turn 9, so I couldn't move anything until the last turn of the game anyway. Oh, after all that, they're coming to an agreement, are they? And then fighting each other. Dornishmen. It's brutal. Ooh, supply, fine. Oh, and we get some more Kasai back. Wow, fantastic. And no additional marches. But here, very close to a big wildling attack at the end. I need to store up some of this power. Now then, the penultimate turn. 5 castles played. Right, I'm well ahead. Everyone's got 3. I've got 5. Ideally, I'd want to take 1 castle this turn and hold on to it, and then in the last turn grab a castle. If I win it, I win instantly. If I don't, I hang on to it. It'd be a lot to try and take 2 in 1 turn, he says, looking at the map. It could be done. Depends what, because Harrenhal is not supported except by the footmen there. Those I don't think can support. They're only good in attacking. So really, it's Lannisport supporting Riverrun, the Stony Sept and the Sea Road Marches, and in turn supported by the Golden Sound. That's the problem here. So first of all, let's raid with that fleet. Always a good plan. Now then, we could be just simply aggressive with this guy here. We could march from Moat Cailin and then attack, but that would be only one. I think the rules are that you can only attack from one area and actually attack 1 castle, so you couldn't put a march order in and then make 2 attacks to these 2 castles. It doesn't seem to let you do that. I presume there's something in the rule book that says you can't. But there's nothing to stop you marching from Moat Cailin to attack Seaguard and marching from Cracklaw Point to take Harrenhal. Do I have anyone useful? No, I've got a relatively small army here. So let's just get him into the mix. He could very well make... Oh, drat, I can't do special. I'm going to do 2 marches. Right, so I can't use him to help that out. So someone would have to march with their disadvantage. Might have to be them. Or maybe him. Let's see. Knight of 2. Siege Engine is not going to support, and that is going to raid Ironman's Bay to make sure that they don't get in my way. So hang on, let's just remove that order token. He might as well farm some more power there. Speaking of which, Castle Black, the Night's Watch will do the same up there. Moat Cailin, we can afford to march you lesser. You are going to support. You're going to support. You're going to super support him there. You're maybe going to get some more power. Now I just need to make sure. So you're going to be marching. You're going to be marching. We could do it. How are we for cards? So Baratheon's still got Stannis. I've still got Eddard. And the Greyjoys have only got Theon and that one. Yeah, this would be the time to strike at them. With maybe Robb Stark strikes there, and Eddard either takes Harrenhal or King's Landing. So they're low, they're weak. Yeah. Baratheons have still got a 4. I will probably need a 4 to throw in against them. If I go that way. How are the Lannisters doing? They've still got Tywin, so yeah, I'll need Eddard to be using where I march from Crackclaw Point. So I don't think I've mucked that up too much. Everyone's supported. In case they're attacked, there's support there. In case he's attacked, there's support there. They're probably going to raid it to get rid of it anyway, which is great because that means they won't be supporting anyone else. Your raid is fairly important here. In fact, can I put in a super raid? Yes. Then if that's a defense token, I could raid that instead. Or that one. We'll go with that. Right, let's see what everybody did. They're raiding, just as I thought. They're raiding too. They're defending Harrenhal. He's defending King's Landing. He's defending Harrenhal. They're on a march. It would be unfortunate if I were to take Harrenhal and then... where are they're going to move before me, though. Have they got any other march moves in? Lannister's marching. They've got one there. They could burn. I could do that last and make sure that he burns that off because he might decide to go and move that somewhere else. They're supporting. They're marching. They're defending. They're marching too. Yeah, they can't move to Flint's Finger, which would be an easy target. Especially supported from here. If I could raid off that. Let's just replace an order but not replace an order. That'll do us. Now let's see what they do. They're going to get rid of my support, of course. I think I'll be best off removing that support there. I'm not going to be going as far as Riverrun. So I'm not annoyed. I'm not annoyed the Lannisters apart from a little bit of raiding. I've not actually attacked them openly yet. Their raid is useless. And their raid is... Okay, there's a lot of raid orders not going through here. So there's nothing just... Ah, good. He's chosen not to move that. That opens up Harrenhal for an attack. Right, that's interesting as well. I didn't want Pike to counter-attack my attack on Seaguard. Now then, can I attack Harrenhal without taking any problems? I think I can. I could drop everybody in there, but I don't want to accidentally make a massive mess of it. Let's just absolutely double check. No one's got a march order, they can take that. So I could pile everyone into Harrenhal to absolutely seal the deal. And drop a power token on Crackclaw Point to hold it, but without anyone guarding it. Because there's no one who can march at it. That would allow me to then attack Seaguard with everything I've got there. That's going to be 4, 5, 6. It's going to be a 5. Plays 2. Unsupported. Greyjoy's only got 4, so I'm 1 up already before I've even played my card. That should help out. So, yeah, the problem is Lannister has got Tywin. I mean, he could do something nasty and do a Tyrion. That's fine. It means I don't play. I'm going to have to play Eddard here. So let's go. 1, 2, and pile into Harrenhal. Yep. We will keep control of Crackclaw Point because we need to win the game in 1 turn. 3 plays 2. No supports either side, and Eddard is going in. So make sure we win it. Tyrion, fantastic. Oof. Oh no, we win. You may force your opponent to play a different house card. He wants me to use that one up. Fine, his guys are dead, and I've got Harrenhal. That's 6. I just need one more castle to win the game. I've got my number 3 card. No one else is anywhere near the winning point at this moment. And yeah, I'm pretty much owning half the map. But the north is a vast expanse of nothing. Right, let's roll around. Let's see what everyone else is doing. Greyjoys are attacking me there. Not what I wanted, really. I was going to ping. Now then. What have Greyjoy got? Let's be a little bit tactical here. If he's defending, he's going to 2. Okay. He can make a 6 then. I can only make a 5. I don't think I can win. If he puts that in, I've lost. So I might as well get Roose Bolton and get my hand back. Yep. Yeah, Tides of Battle really did us over there. So we'll lose. I think we lose the siege tower. Drat. We get our entire hand back, including Eddard, because we might need that. Now, do we retreat on Winterfell or Cracklaw Point? Cracklaw Point is vulnerable, as is Winterfell, to be fair. Be a shame to lose Winterfell. Let's just move back there, because we can just move down on Moat Cailin. Swines. Right. That's pretty good. There we go. And they attack. Now, we know what it is, don't we? The lowest bidder... the lowest bidder destroys 2 of his units. The highest bidder can muster forces in any one castle or stronghold area he controls. I could put in 12 to win this. I still have 4 spare, and hopefully... Why, the Night's Watch have won, and I'm the highest bidder. I can muster. This could mean I can muster in Cracklaw Point. Sure, footman there. Just to help guard it. Everyone gets a bit of that. Thank you very much. Back up to 9. And raid orders can't be played in the last turn. Good. So supports everywhere can work. So what we're going to do is Narrow Sea, super support. Just to help out, Shivering Sea also supports. Now then. We really need to retake Moat Cailin. So let's make sure we do that. I don't really want to lose anywhere I've already taken. I don't really need to farm at this point. That area can support as well. To do with you. Oh, I've got an idea actually. Oh, I do have an idea. He could actually move to there, where we are supporting. He could attack Flint's Finger with some support. Useful. And he could literally just walk into Moat Cailin. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? It's one of those, it just might work. Anyone else that really needs a lot of defense? Cracklaw Point probably could do with the super defender. I can't move anything else. That's fine. Let's have a go with that. See what we do. See how we get. I mean, 5, let's see, 4. As long as we don't lose anything to the Greyjoys, we could still win the game by holding the most at the end of the game, rather than going for the insta-win of 7. So I'd be happy with that. But we've got some options here. So, let's have a look. They're marching from Flint's Finger. He's defending here. He's going to have to, because he's essentially got 0 strength there, so that's 1 to defend. He's defending Seaguard, and it's being supported there. That's fine. That is his weak point. He can't even march one of those guys into there. If he wants to do anything with that, he's going to have to go and grab someone else's. I'm defending there, they're defending there, so Riverrun and Harrenhal are not doing anything. King's Landing and Cracklaw Point, not doing anything. Farming there. Interesting, he might be moving his ships there. I'd be disappointed if they tried to attack my fleet in Narrow Sea, but I've got some support there. So hey, we don't need to look at one. Let's just replace an order token, but not replace an order token. Where's he going? Okay, solidifying Blackwater Bay. Not moving that. Where are these guys going? Back to Pike. Now then, I'm just going to move you and give up the Sunset Sea, but increase my support in this area. Greyjoy's only got 1 card left, so... Okay, well let the Lannisters take the Sunset Sea, that's alright by me. It really bottles up our friends there. Now then, he's got the option of just basically... Flint's Finger's well supported there, actually. Strength of 5, so that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I'm 5 already, so I'm equal there. So I just need something a bit nastier than him. Let's just... Oops, no, let's undo that move. I don't want to move there. No, unconfirm that. Go back. And then 1 plays nothing supported. I've got all my cards. So does it really matter? If I attack him now, where he's strongest, he can throw in 4 against that, but I've got 4 against it with more. Yes, let's attack Flint's Finger first. Yeah, because Moat Cailin isn't. If he was on a march order, that would be worrying, because he could just walk straight into Winterfell. That would be embarrassing. I don't want to lose the north. Attack there, right. So what have we got? 1, 2, 3 on the march. Support. That makes 5. He's going to bring in his supports. That makes 5. Now then, Greyjoy has only got... If he spends 2 power, he can discard and choose another card from his hand, which he can't, because he's got nothing else in his hand. He needs something in his hand to choose from. So, as they are above us, we need to make sure that we win. We can't draw. So he's going to put in 0 to be 5, so I could go with Great John for 2, or Rob for 3. Let's just hope that helps out with any Tides of Battle nastiness. Oof! It favours us. I can choose where he retreats to. I could tuck him into there out the way, couldn't I? I'm not intending to attack Seaguard, so that's not a problem. 6 plays 3 and 3 and 3 and 3, so I've got twice the number of castles anyone else has. Oh. Now then, can we just walk into Moat Cailin? He's going to get all his cards back, including Balon, which is a good one, which would reduce me to 0. So let's just try it and hope our support is more than enough. It's worth a go. Let's keep control of the Eyrie, that's handy. 1 plays 1. Now, supports from me, please. Boom, 4 plays 1, that's better. Might as well throw in Eddard, it does give us all that. Even if he plays Balon. Oh, he doesn't. Okay. One sword is enough to kill him off. Tides of battle don't help anyone. That's fine. We would destroy that siege tower that's holding it anyway. Because siege towers are always destroyed when they're defeated in a defence. And that gives us 7 castles in the final turn of the game as well. Quite an emphatic win there. The North remembers. Excellent. Winter has come. Win for House Stark. Well done. How did we do there? So we did the insta-win with 7. We controlled the most areas. We didn't have the most supply. And we weren't highest up on the Iron Throne. No, we don't think we ever were. Actually, I think we stayed at the bottom there. We just kept ourselves in a good position on the King's Court. Messenger Raven track. Right. Thank you very much for watching that. I quite enjoyed that one. Stark's an interesting one to work with because you're up in the north and you do sort of think, well, should you spread out and take all these lands? To be honest, you're better off taking a few castles. I think heading down for the Eyrie quickly and then either making friends with the Baratheons and toweling up the Greyjoys or nipping across and having out the Lannisters together is the way forward. I have won as the Starks in the past by leaving the Greyjoys and actually allying up with them and just taking the Eyrie in that area and then pushing on the Baratheons and winning. So there's some options. So thanks very much for that. We shall have another go with something similar another time, maybe one of the other houses. Still need to try that Tyrell scenario because it's very tricky. It would be nice for everyone to see me lose one, I think. Just to show that this game is very tricky. Right, thank you very much everybody. Thanks for coming. And we'll see you all next time.